Hey everyone, welcome to another Will I Buy It. In this video I'm gonna be talking about all the new makeup releases. I'm gonna tell you if I want to pick them up or maybe not at all, maybe I'm not interested at all. And of course I would love to hear from you in the comments what you think about the new releases. Always love hearing from you. So we have a lot to talk about and let's get right into it. So if you haven't been on my channel before, my name is Marley and I love making YouTube videos about makeup and beauty. I love doing looks, swatches, reviews, will I buy it videos, all those kinds of things. So if that sounds good to you, then don't forget to subscribe. I usually upload about 2 to 3 videos a week and I would love to see you again on my channel. So usually I do these will I buy it videos every 2 weeks or so and we always have a lot to talk about. And I kind of feel like this episode has kind of like a theme. I feel like the theme is things I thought I would want but don't. I feel like there are multiple things here that I was really excited about, but then I saw them and I was like, maybe not. So let's talk about that. So let me just grab my phone and let me pull up some makeup news. I always link everything that I use, where I get my news from. I always link that in the description box, so you can always check that out for yourself if you want to know where I get this news from. So the first thing I see here is a collaboration with Loreal and Elie Saab. And they have a 9-pan eyeshadow palette and some lip products. I see some lipstick, some lip gloss. Oh, and there's also a mascara. So I'm usually not really that interested in L'Oreal. And especially not in their lip products. Because my experience with their lip products is, even though I really like them, even when I really like them, I don't really use them because I hate the scent. I just don't love the scent. I can't wear that. It's just too much. So those lipsticks are already not an option for me. I'm not really interested in glosses right now. Let me see. The 9-pan I don't really like. I think there are too many similar shades. I don't really see myself doing looks with this. I don't feel like it really has a variation in this palette. Yeah, I'm not really interested. I don't know, are people really excited about these kinds of collabs? I don't really feel like it. I guess it's kind of nice that they have this different packaging and then the embossing and the lipsticks. I guess that's fine, but I'm really not interested in this. There are just some launches. If I wouldn't do a will I buy it video, I would see them, not even register that I see them on Trendmood, and then I would immediately forget about them and not even realize that this exists. This is a launch like that. There's just basically nothing about this that interests me. So Nabla Cosmetics revealed their Beautifying Tinted Balm. So it's like a combination of a foundation and also skincare ingredients, I believe. It has hyaluronic acid, it has pulalum. I don't know what that is, but I guess it's good for your skin. A lifted effect promotes collagen, okay? Apparently there's a party going on outside. I hope you can't hear that. I'm not really gonna wait for that. I don't know. There are things going on in my city today. I really don't know what's going on here. So I tried waiting a little bit, but apparently we're gonna have some background music. Or maybe they're slowly going away right now. I don't know. Things are happening today. I think that was it. I hope they're not gonna come back. So let's talk about the Nabla Skin Realist. It kind of looks like a tinted moisturizer. It looks kind of nice. If I would be into foundation, I would really like to test this. It looks good. It sounds good. This is just a really popular type of product right now. I feel like a lot of brands are coming out with these foundation types products that are really like caring for the skin, that don't have that high of a coverage, but they are really like natural looking. I really like this trend. I think this looks like a really nice launch. I'm quite curious to see some reviews, but this is not something I'm gonna buy personally, but doesn't have anything to do with the launch itself. It's just that I don't wear foundation. Then we have this collaboration with Hipdot and Reeses. I guess it looks kind of cute. There is a cuteness factor to this that I kind of like. I don't mind it, but once again, there's nothing here that makes me excited enough to try this brand. I'm just a bit confused about this brand. I told you before, but it's not really a brand that I'm looking to try. I guess the little eyeshadow palettes are kind of cute, but also I don't really need any of this. And generally I don't really need eyeshadow, but then if I'm gonna buy any eyeshadow, it's gonna be from a brand that I'm really excited about, and that's not really this. But I don't mind it. I think it's cute. I can imagine that people were kind of excited for that. But also I'm not really in the loop if this already sold out or anything like that. I don't know. So we have these Hermes blushes. Those are $77 each. So they look kind of pretty, but I heard that they're quite sheer and buildable. It doesn't have to be a bad thing, but it has to be your preference. And I like a blush that's kind of like in the middle. I don't want it to be too pigmented, but I also don't want it to be too sheer. I don't want to have to go in and go in and go in and build up and build up and build up forever. I just want to like go with my brush into the blush like 3 times and then just blend it on my skin and be done with it. That would be like my ideal blush pigmentation formula. But to me it doesn't really matter what kind of formula this even is, because I'm not gonna spend this money on a blush. It took me a whole lot to spend more than 30 euros on a blush, and I think that's gonna be my limit for now. Like around 30 euros. If it's really special, I might spend that on a blush, but in general, I don't think I'm gonna spend more than that. So this is not really an interesting launch for me. I heard that some people were excited about this, but I also heard other people say that it isn't really worth it. So yeah, I'm not gonna buy this. I'm gonna skip over this. Then we have this new Aristocats collaboration with Hydra Revolution. Surprise, surprise, Disney has another collaboration, another week, another collaboration. We all know how it goes nowadays. Disney is everywhere. Disney is working with every brand. That's just what they're doing right now. So let's look at this collection. I thought actually the color story of that eyeshadow palette looks kind of cute, but it's just, this brand is not really something I'm interested in. There are so many shades. Maybe if they would have edited it down, but also I don't really trust the formula of Hydra Revolution or anything that Makeup Revolution does. So even if I would think this is a pretty cute color story, I wouldn't really like want to take the risk. I thought those highlighters with the paws in them looks kind of cute. I didn't hate this collaboration as much as some other Disney collaborations and as some other collections that Revolution has come out with, but I'm not gonna buy this. Even if I thought it was cuter than this, I'm not gonna buy any of this. It's just not gonna happen, you know. So even though I think it's a bit cuter than what they usually do, like some parts of this I don't mind, I'm really not interested in grabbing any of this. I'm kind of wondering how Makeup Revolution is doing. Are people that maybe aren't on YouTube as much, are like the regular consumers, are they really into this brand? They might be. Before, when this was a new brand in the Netherlands and it just came to the Netherlands, it was just in shops, I was really excited about this. That was a few years ago, but there was a point that I was excited. So maybe there are other people who are still as excited as I was then. It could be. I'm kind of curious. So we have this new MAC lip balm from the MAC Underground program, and it's the Squirt balm. I think that's all I have to say about this. I think you know enough. So we have this new collection by Illamasqua. I've never tried this brand actually, and they came out with like color correcting bronzers, and those bronzers have like a blue stripe in the middle, and then they also have a Hydra lip tint that also has this stripe in the middle kind of design. I feel like a color correcting bronzer is kind of a gimmick. I don't think this is really gonna do anything, and also I don't want my bronzer to color correct anything. I want my bronzer to bronze, and if I would want anything to color correct, I would like use a specific product for that. So I think it's a bit of a weird launch. I feel like it's a bit gimmicky. I feel like it's not necessary for your bronzer to be color correcting. I don't know, this doesn't really speak to me. I think it's a bit of a weird launch. I don't know. It neutralizes redness and balances skin tone. I don't think that's gonna work. It's $45, so in the Netherlands, like in Europe, it will be a bit more expensive than that probably. I'm not gonna pick any of this up. If I'm gonna buy a bronzer, it's not gonna be a bronzer with a blue stripe in the middle. Nah, don't think so. Then we have this new Holo Taco nail polish launch, and it's the Pastel Rainbow collection. I think it looks really cute. If it would be easier for me to get Holo Taco, if it would cost a bit less to ship this to the Netherlands, I might try something out from a brand sometime, but I feel like right now it's not really the moment to purchase anything from her. But I do really like these colors that she chose. I do really like this holographic effect that they have. I mean, the swatches look really good, but I also think if I would try this brand, I would like to try one nail polish first and see how I like it, and then maybe add more. And I don't really feel like that's possible. So maybe I will try something from her in the future, but probably not in the near future. Then we have these new Hourglass The Velvet Story lip creams, liquid lipsticks, and they are a featherweight lip mousse, and they are $36 each. By the way, I realized that I never say the prices and often I forget to tell you what the name of a product is. I'm gonna try to be better at that. I'm gonna try to give you the information. So that moussey consistency, it actually sounds good. I think if I tried it, I might like it, but I'm not gonna be paying $36 for a liquid lipstick right now. It's just a bit too expensive. With these types of products, it's like, if I would hear raving reviews, if the reviews would be like, oh, it's the best liquid lipstick I've ever tried, it's so comfortable, it stays on forever, that might be able to persuade me, but just looking at a picture on Trendmood and seeing that price, I'm like, no. So we have this new Colourpop is releasing so many small palettes. They are just releasing small palette collection after small palette collection, and I feel like I can't keep up. I don't even know what they're doing anymore. They are releasing so many things at the same time. So we have this new Coming in Hot collection, and we have 5 pens that are monochromatic. So we have a green one, a red one, a pink one, purple one, blue one. I like these better than the other small palettes that they have released, like the more neutral ones. I didn't really like those, but I do like the look of these. But I feel like I have these colors and I still feel like this launch looks a little bit cheap. So I don't feel like I need this. I don't feel like it's special enough. I just feel like I have these colors in my 9 pens. Like the colors that I really wanted, I have in my 9 pens, and now I don't feel like I need 5 pens. It just doesn't feel like anything new for Colourpop. I feel like they're just re-releasing things in different formats, and that just doesn't excite me. So we have this new lip oil stain by House Labs. They are the PhD hybrid lip oil stain. PhD? What? So what is going on here? Their lip softening oil delivers a sheer, supple shine before it soaks in for a true to you tint brought out by your unique pH. I really don't like the idea of lip products that adapt to your pH levels. I want control. I just want to know exactly what lip color I'm putting on my lips, and especially if I'm buying something, I want to know exactly what color I'm buying, and this is like the lottery. This is like, you don't know what you're gonna get, you just put it on and you hope for the best. I don't like that, and especially not for $24. I'm not gonna take the risk. I'm just gonna buy a lip color that is the exact color that I want, and I'm gonna wear it and I'm gonna love it. Not this. And also PhD, I don't really see like the relation here between a PhD and lip oil stains. I don't get it. So we have this new eyeshadow palette by LH Cosmetics. And it's kind of like a matte rainbow palette. When I first saw this, I was immediately like, I'm bored. This is just too basic, and I haven't tried this brand, but I expect a little bit more from them. This just doesn't seem like anything special. I feel like everybody who wants a rainbow palette already has a rainbow palette, so I don't really know if a lot of people are gonna buy this. I'm not really excited. I'm not really like sitting here waiting for a rainbow palette. I have the colors that I want. Give me an interesting color story and you might convince me to buy your thing. But when it's a rainbow, chances are really small that I'm interested. We have a new collection. It's called the Bottle Blonde collection by Trixie Cosmetics. There's a 12 pen eyeshadow palette for $48. Lip gloss, different kinds of lip gloss, some accessories. So I think this eyeshadow palette actually looks kind of cute. I don't mind it. There are some purples in there, some nudes, a pink. I actually think it's a nice color story. I don't really think there is anything wrong with it, but I haven't tried this brand. $48 is quite pricey. And probably if I would try to get this one, it would be more expensive than that. It would probably be at least $55, something like that. So I don't think I will end up picking anything from this up, but I can appreciate that it's a nice color story. And if this were a different brand or it would be a little bit cheaper, maybe I would be interested. But I'm just gonna appreciate this without buying it. I think that's the best idea. Then we have this new Marilyn Monroe collection by Besame Cosmetics. I am not the person that is really interested in collections that are almost... I don't know how I can explain it. It's like you have fashion and then you have costumes and then you have like modern makeup and then you have makeup that's really just completely transformed in something that could be from another time. That's really almost like a prop in a film. I don't really feel a lot for those kinds of collections. I think it's pretty, but maybe it's just a little bit too much for me to like this. It's kind of like, I feel kind of like I wouldn't buy this to use it. I don't think a lot of people will buy this to use it. It's like a collector's item. That's not what I am like with makeup. I don't collect makeup, I use makeup. I never hold on to makeup that I don't use. Sometimes I do, of course, but if I have decided, if I know I'm never gonna use this, but I like the packaging or something like that, it has a little bit of sentimental value, chances are really small that I'm gonna keep it. And I just feel like this is not really a makeup collection to use. And that's why I wouldn't grab this. I hope that kind of makes sense. I'm trying to explain something that I don't 100% understand myself just yet. There's just something about this collection. In theory, I would like it. In theory, it's really nice and pretty, but there's nothing about it that makes me want to buy it, and I think it's just a little bit too much. An art piece or something that you would almost put in a museum and not something that you would just use on an everyday basis. But maybe you have a completely different idea about that. Let me know if you have any thoughts about this collection. I would love to hear. I just don't feel it, and I think it's that, but it could also be something else. So let's move on. We have a new launch from Jaclyn Hill. She is releasing some Bake and Brighten under eye powder, Prep Starter Hydrating under eye primer, Face It All Brightening and Setting Palette, Last Act Translucent Setting powder. These are not products that I use, these are not products that I'm interested in. This is not a brand that I'm interested in, but I thought I would just mention it. You know, I'm not planning on buying anything from her like anytime soon. Something really special has to happen, has to be released for me to buy anything from her. I think she just still really has to prove herself for me. And for now I'm just skipping over all the launches. But this one is really easy for me to skip over because this is just nothing for me. Nothing that I would use. So let's move on. Then we have this new highlighter. It's a limited edition highlighter from Ofra Cosmetics. This is for Earth Day. And it's a duochrome highlighter. It is a pink to green. It looks really nice. I have to say, if there was a green highlighter I would pick up, it would be this one. It looks really pretty, but I know I'm not gonna wear any green highlighter. But I really like the idea of this. So my compliments anyway, even though I'm not gonna be picking this up. Anastasia Beverly Hills is releasing new face palettes, and they have a bronzer, a highlighter and a blush in one palette, and then they have 3 different colorways. I thought we were over this. I thought we were way past this. This was like popular when I was in high school, and that's already like 6 years ago. Oh. It's more than 6 years ago. More than 6 years ago, I was still in high school and this was popular then, and now they're trying to bring it back. Why? I think Anastasia Beverly Hills has completely lost its way. They don't know what to do anymore. They're just trying to release some things left and right, but they actually don't have any idea what they're doing. They don't have the right motivation. They are just, you know, in the Netherlands there's this saying, and it's like, when a cat feels threatened, it does really weird jumps. And I feel like that's what's happening with Anastasia Beverly Hills. They feel kind of threatened, that things aren't going well. I feel like they can't be making much money with the launches that they've had for the past year. So they're doing all these weird things to try and fix it, but it isn't working. And I feel like everyone in the comments was also saying that this is just such an old-fashioned idea. This is not something people still like. People like to pick the things that they want to wear. Like, when I look at this, I would like the bronzer of one, then a blush of another, then a highlighter of another. It's just too limiting. And I think I saw this on the website of Anastasia Beverly Hills and it was like 50 euros or something. That's also way too much. That's just way too much. But also, do something new, do something fresh, do something with your life. Think of something that we haven't seen before in that way, but don't take ideas that didn't work 5 years ago and bring them back and expect them to work now. They are not gonna work. This isn't gonna work. I really don't get this launch. I think they're really confused. And possibly a little bit drunk. Yes, that's what I think. So I thought I was gonna love this. I thought I was gonna buy this. I thought this is gonna be something. I'm gonna be so excited about it. I'm for sure gonna purchase it. Well, that didn't happen. So we have the new Flower Punk collection by Kaleidos. It's for spring 2021. They revealed an eyeshadow palette, some lip sets, a lip balm, things like that. And when they first showed some pictures of their inspiration, I thought it was so cool. But looking at this palette, I feel like it's a little bit of a strange one. I feel like there isn't a lot of depth here. There are some weird color combinations that I don't really get. I feel like it's a little bit of a weird color story. I think they could have done better. And also this palette has a lid that is like completely removable. It has a magnet. You can go like put it all sides, like all ways. You can take it off. You can put it on like... Sometimes I realize that I can't really explain things in English, like I just miss a word. What's the word? So you can completely remove the top and it's just magnetic. Don't love that. It reminds me of those Inglot palettes that you could fill up with magnetic shades. Those also had this magnetic lid. I never used the palette that I had because of that magnetic lid. I thought it was so annoying. So I don't like that. Don't really love the color story and... Okay, maybe some people are gonna like it. I just feel like the Club Nebula palette was so perfectly curated. It had lighter shades, it had darker shades that you could deepen things up with. But this seems pretty mid-tone aside from like 2 shades. So it doesn't give you a lot of variation. I just don't love it. And also something that is just my personal opinion is I don't love warm greens. I think they're great. I think they look amazing on a lot of people, but they don't look good on me. When I wear warm green, I look like I'm sick. Like, so sick. I look yellow. I look so pale. It just doesn't work with my coloring. So, half of the palette I personally wouldn't use. But aside from my personal opinion, I think in general, this isn't their best launch. And I'm a little bit disappointed because after Club Nebula, I was like, this is an awesome brand. I want to buy everything, but this brought me to a bit of a halt. I had to accept that I shouldn't buy things just because I like the brand, because this isn't gonna work for me. But I'm really curious to hear from you what you think about this launch. I feel like the response wasn't like too positive, so I'd actually love to hear if people are excited about this palette. Is it just me? Am I just biased because I don't love warm greens? Or is this really not the best color story? I mean, I'm sure the quality is nice, the swatches look really great, the shimmers look really pretty, but I just can't buy this. I shouldn't even think about it. So we have a new Morphe palette. It's the 35D Desert Bouquet Artistry palette. Honestly, I don't see the difference between these Morphe palettes. They could have released this last year and the year before and the year before and I wouldn't even know. I'm not interested in this brand in any way. Never have been, probably never will. Let's move on. So we have these new Eye and Face palettes by Charlotte Tilbury. They are $75 each. There's one that looks a little bit more lighter and pink and one that looks a little bit darker. I think they look really pretty, but I'm just not into a palette that has all in one. That's not really something I'm looking for. I think it's a nice one if you just want everything on one palette. You want a really easy nude out the door look. You just want a nice nude look in one palette. You don't want to have to think about it. If you travel, you just take one palette and that's it. If you want that, then I guess this is a nice one for you. But I'm not gonna buy something like this. It's just not something I'm really gonna reach for. It's cute. It looks cute. There's something definitely attractive about this, but I'm not gonna buy it. Then we have some new cheek palettes by Colourpop. They are releasing a lot of new things and they seem to really love a clear plastic packaging nowadays. And sometimes I can appreciate that, but I think their stuff, the things that they're releasing, it looks pretty cheap. I don't like how it looks. I don't think it looks very attractive. It looks just really cheap. I feel like with a clear plastic packaging, there's a thin line, there's a fine line. If you're on the one side, it can look really nice and luxurious and it's nice that you can see everything that's in there. But on the other side, it looks really cheap and like when you drop it, it's just gonna crack and it's not gonna survive when you take it like in a makeup bag. And that's kind of what this looks like to me. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe if I would see it in real life, I would like it. But I don't think I'm gonna find out. I don't think I'm gonna order this and find out. I do appreciate that they made some different colorways also for deeper skin. I guess there are some nice options here, and if I would buy one, I could pick one that I like the most, but just the whole look and idea of this doesn't speak to me. I think in general, I always used to love the idea of a face palette, but in practice, I don't reach for that kind of thing. I don't really like it because I'm never gonna reach for all the products in there as much. Like I'm gonna reach for one thing all the time, then another thing that's in the palette I'm never gonna reach for. I don't really like that. So even though sometimes face palettes grab my attention, usually I will go for singles. Let's see if there's some indie makeup we still have to talk about. That was everything for Trend Mood. It wasn't a lot actually. I'm kind of surprised. Or at least it doesn't seem like it was a lot. So we had a few sneak peeks. I don't know if I really want to talk about sneak peeks, but because it's a bit of a shorter week, I think I'm just gonna do it this time. So we have this sneak peek from Glamlight, and there's gonna be a palette late spring that's a collaboration. At least that's what I understood. And they showed these two swatches of mint eyeshadows. So you might have noticed that I'm really excited about the Glamlight Ice Cream Dream palette. I've been talking about it all the time, telling you how amazing I think it is, and I really do think it's amazing. It's a great eyeshadow palette. And that was my first encounter with Glamlight. Before that I never tried them. And now I'm kind of excited to see what they're gonna come out with. I just really want to try more of their eyeshadow palettes. So if this is a color story, that is something that I would enjoy. And if the packaging isn't too bulky, there's a chance I'm gonna be picking this up. I'm gonna keep an eye on this. I'm gonna be really curious to see what this launch is gonna be. But of course now it's a bit hard to say anything about it from just 2 shades, but at least something is coming and I'm pretty excited about it. Then a collection that is already launched. It's the Musée Beauty Rococo collection. And when I first saw this photo, I was like, that eyeshadow palette looks really cute. And I was like, I don't need any more pastels, but this looks really nice. But then I saw some other pictures, I saw some swatches, and I was like, don't do it. Even though it looks cute, don't do it. Don't go for it. You have enough. And the swatches just didn't look very exciting. They didn't really look really appealing. Maybe it's just that their swatches aren't photographed really well, but they just didn't look like something that I would want. It just looks a little bit lackluster when I see it in other photos, in other swatches, and then it's not gonna be worth it for me, so I'm gonna be skipping over this, even though at first I was like, that looks cute. Then one of the most exciting reveals of past week is the Menagerie Cosmetics and Annette's Makeup Corner collaboration. So they're releasing an eyeshadow palette and it's called the Serenity palette. And I had a feeling that it wasn't going to be perfect for me, but I was still kind of excited to see what it was. And in my last Will I Buy It, I was like, I'm probably not going to buy this because I just ordered from them. But at the same time I was like, if this is perfect. I might try it. I might pick it up because the quality of Menagerie Cosmetics is great. It's on point, it's amazing. I love the shimmers that I've tried so far. But then I saw the reveal and I think this is such an Annette palette. This is just what she loves. I can really see her makeup style in this, and that's what I love about it, but this is not my makeup style. It's just a little bit too primary, a little bit too bright, a little bit too much of a mix of colors that I wouldn't really use together. Once again, we have warm greens in this, and that is not what I would wear. They just don't look good on me, even if I try. It's just not something I can unsee. When I wear warm green, it just looks so bad. I just can't do it. I can't wear it. So this is not my color story. It looks a bit jumbled, but you do have like the matte and the shimmer combinations that you can use. But I just feel like you're pretty limited if you don't love combining primary colors together in one look. I just feel like this is for a very specific audience. And maybe that's better because there are only 400 palettes for the first launch. That isn't a lot. I'm curious to see if this is gonna sell out fast, and I think it is because 400 really isn't a high number. I think even if I would want this palette, I wouldn't really wanna stress about that launch because it's just like trying to grab a palette when you know there are only 400 units. That's really stressful. I just can't always deal with the stress of a really anticipated launch that I know a lot of people. And when I know a lot of people are gonna want a palette, it just stresses me out so much. So yeah, I'm sure it's nice, but it's not for me. People also compared this to the Circo Loco and they were like, oh, this is a cheaper version of that. If you're in the US and you like the Circo Loco, but this is a cheaper alternative, I would say go for it. But if I would order this, it would be the price of Circo Loco. Maybe not completely, but basically there wouldn't be much of a difference. So for me, I wouldn't buy this because it's more affordable. It isn't. So yeah, I like it, but it's not for me. If you want to buy it, be fast because there are not a lot of palettes available. Then we also have a sneak peek from the Sydney Grace and Temptalia collaboration. She has been talking about it for quite some time, talking about shades that she approved and didn't. She's really like showing you the process. If you want to see a bit more about this collaboration, she posts about it on her Instagram, Temptalia does. And she's also doing this thing where there are different options for like lighter and deeper skin tone, which I do like because that's something that Sydney Grace does. So I like that they are doing that once again with the collaboration. So we see some swatches here from one of the palettes is the Quintessence palette. I hope I say that correctly. It looks nice, but at the same time it doesn't look like something I'm really gonna be head over heels in love with. There are some nice colors here, but this color story doesn't really speak to me. I don't really see this and think, oh, I'm gonna do that look, oh, I'm gonna do that look. It doesn't really inspire me personally. But maybe if I see this laid out in a palette, then I will like it more. And also I haven't tried this brand, so maybe if I would have tried them and then I would have loved the formula, then I would be really excited about this. But when I look at this, I'm like, I'm probably not gonna buy it. But that's just like my first thought without seeing the layout, without seeing the palette, without seeing the other palettes. I'm still pretty curious, but I think the chance that I'm gonna buy this one is small. So that was everything for the makeup releases of this week. I don't think I'm gonna be picking up anything. At least for now, I'm not really excited enough about any of these releases to feel like I'm gonna pick them up. Of course, it's still possible that I'm gonna see some reviews, some really positive reviews, and then I might be able to be persuaded. Sometimes that happens. But as I said, the theme is kind of like makeup I thought I would want but don't want in the end, and I'm not gonna force myself to buy things because I thought I would like them but I know I wouldn't use them enough. So that's just what it is. So let me know in the comments how you feel about these new releases. Always love chatting with you, always love hearing your thoughts, and that's gonna be everything for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye!